Watch me feed my tropical fish tanks while we talk about things I wish I knew when Elijah was diagnosed with autism. So, tropical fish, another interest of mine. I think it's really important to have a few different interests outside of being a carer, if you can. Obviously, it's not always easy, but this one I find very creative and relaxing, which is nice. So, things I wish I knew. There's a lot I wish I knew, actually. If you're in Australia, now this won't apply to everyone listening, but if you're in Australia and applying for support like NDIS, you need to describe your child on their worst day when you're asked the questions. And it's not dishonest, it's just the best measure of the support that they actually need. Because not every day is going to be hard. Some days are really, really awful, and other days it's manageable. But you need to apply early, regardless of whether you're in Australia or not. Apply as soon as you get an inkling, because I know that there is early intervention with the NDIS. So apply early, try and get on early intervention, and describe your child on their worst day, even though that's really hard to do without crying. Another thing that I wish I knew about and I had no idea about was to ask for a support coordinator to be a part of your plan, especially if you're still getting your head around diagnoses or if you have a particularly complex situation or care plan. You have to ask for a support coordinator, and essentially they're the person that will help you find and manage therapies. Now, I don't have one. I didn't know what it was. I may have been asked if I wanted one, but not knowing what it was, I declined because I was so overwhelmed that I didn't know. I didn't want to make so many decisions. I asked them, do you think I need a coordinator? And they said no, but the person that's assessing you isn't necessarily an expert in your situation, nor in disability. So find out what a support coordinator is and decide whether or not you'd need one. It gets written into your plan. So it would be something that would be written into your plan. It's not additional funding that you would need to put into the support coordinator. So if you can, I would 100% ask for a support coordinator as a part of your plan. You have to request it though, and that will help with the next stages. Another thing is some sort of communication book or a logbook, which someone did suggest to me at the time, but again, I was so overwhelmed. Essentially what a communication book is, it's just like an exercise book that you put all of your notes in, from therapy sessions, GP visits, therapy sessions, all of that kind of thing. And therapists and allied health professionals, and also if your child's in school, your child's school teacher can write in it as well. And then all of your therapy team can see the book and all be across what's currently working and what's been put in place. So it's just a book, and people write and date their notes, and it gets shared between yourself, teachers, and therapists and allied health professionals. And it's so important because you might not necessarily have therapists that are all working within the same company. And even if you do, you're probably not going to have pediatrics within the speech OT therapy company that you've hired. And if your child is going to school, of course, your teacher will need to be across what therapy is looking like at the moment. So a communication book, a simple exercise book will do. I've also created a shared notes logbook that I'll link below if you want something that's a little bit more scaffolded to help you, but either is fine. It just have something in place so everyone knows exactly what's going on. It's really, really important. And file all reports somewhere cleanly. So whenever you have a review or anything of that nature, or if you want to apply for more funding, anything, you need to know exactly where all the reports are for your child in one place so you can easily access them. And same goes for whenever you're hiring a new therapist. They will need to see all those backdated reports. If you're going to a new pediatrician, they'll need to see all of that history as well. So it's a headache if you have to search through 1001 documents to find all of that really important information. So there's that. And also, it's okay to stop therapies that aren't working. Something that I didn't do because I was really frightened about losing funding and just frightened about him not having any therapy if I was to cancel a therapy. So I probably stuck with therapists for longer than was helpful for my child, just out of fear. And it's really okay if something isn't working out. If you don't intuitively feel like it's right for your child, it's okay to switch therapies and try different things, because it's better for you to get at the bottom of the correct ladder than to be halfway up the wrong one. And I'm not saying that to scare you. There's nothing to be afraid of, but just have that confidence that you are still your child's primary caregiver and therefore the most important person to make these decisions. So you really need to take advice from therapists, but also trust your own intuition, because you know your child better than anyone. Even if you still feel like you're learning and you don't know everything. Of course you don't know everything, but those therapists, those doctors, those specialists, they're not with your child 24 hours a day. So don't be afraid to stop something that you don't feel like is working, and you don't need to justify it either. You don't need to tell that therapist or that service why. You just do it and trust that you know what's best. And when you do find the correct supports, you'll also know that as well, because you can tell based off the way your child responds and the way you're able to communicate freely with the therapists. Because I think that's really, really important. Being with having a team that you can collaborate with freely and feeling safe and comfortable to do so, because they're there to support you as well as your child. So that's it, really. That's the things that I wish I knew in those early frantic days. Thanks for listening.